Hello, everybody. This is Charles Anderson, and I'm just a guy from Goodwill, Oklahoma, and I've got a really great video game idea. I'm making a tool set, and let's see here. Keep on track. Okay, so I've got this thread extending, developing. So I've got another tip to throw on the stack here. I've been working on the Tone Gods GUI, target project to level up my programming skills. So we've successfully attached, a JME surface inside of a thing. Here's what it's right now. I've just got the standard blue cube. I don't have any camera controls attached, nothing like that. But one of the problems that I was running in with was resizing it, and it basically boiled down to take a hockey puck, place it in a sandwich bag, then place it inside of a bigger sandwich bag. All right, now start sliding stuff around, and yeah, everything's going to go slosh slosh and be all goofy. But yeah, I have a nice trim thing, and now you'll notice that I get this dark gray, but that's just because I set the background as dark gray. During resize, it's got to catch up, but it's sizing properly now. And so once it's stabilized, then it stops doing the whole gray thing. And yeah, so that's just a blue box, and because I don't have any camera controls, I can't walk around it or anything. But it's rendering, and now, oh, and I'll just say this as a comment. You'll notice here in the bottom left that it automatically opened up the Scene Explorer tab. I'll be working with the navigator, but yeah, Scene Explorer. So here's the name of my node, and then there's a blue box with the mesh attached as that object. So anyway, oh right, code. Yes, the tips. Okay, of getting a JME surface inside of a NetBeans environment. All right, so I'm working with a multi-view element. Okay, so this is a top component here, this section right here. All right, and for a multi-view element, oh, I closed it. Well, I'll just fire it up again. Why not? I'll just come over here while that loads up in the background. So yeah, inside of a multi-view panel, you got these different tabs, and right now I'm working on this element 2. What I've got programmed is not going to be its final behavior, but it's just showing. All right, here's how I've learned to put it in, and hopefully it's proper. I think it should be proper, according. But Norman helped me along with a couple of nice little hints, and also at any time I'll they have all this code that they want you to use, like SceneApplication is a big keyword, and oh, it's over at GitHub, JMonkeyEngine, all that good stuff, and yeah, SceneApplication's a big one, Scene Listener is a big one, and Scene Request. So those three are the big ones for what I'm showing today. Okay, so yeah, so each of these tabs is just part of this multi-view window. Well, multi-view top component, and each of these sections in here is a section of that, which you flip to. So this is actually a J panel, right? And inside of this J panel, you have a J toolbar, and that's automatic. Well, J toolbar being put in right here. These other two are automatically added, or well, these other tabs are already automatically added to a multi-view component. But yeah, if you put buttons on your toolbar, J toolbar, then they'll show up in here. And this is the canvas. Well, it's just an it's just a component, but we'll call it a canvas, okay? Even though it may just be an aught panel. So okay, but keep on track. So, let's see. To be able to start programming in these things, you'll have to add to your module the libraries to work with it. So, the libraries that were important for me, we got the SDK core. I guess I added these, but when I needed to add my dependencies, I needed the SDK core, and then I also needed access to JME3.scene because I work with nodes. So then, yeah, SDK engine. Well, then why did I need the wrapped libraries? Anyway, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, it's got that. All right. Well, I don't know why I needed all these, but I thought that I did. Maybe it included them with it, but yeah, as long as you can work with what you need to work with, which is nodes and scene application and scene request and scene derp listener, because for the multi-view element it extends JPanel. It implements the multi-view element, but it also implements scene listener from the JME class. Because you got to remember, you got to say, hey, JME, fire up nicely. Okay, so here we just set the thing. I set it to dark gray just so that I would have something different from black, so that I can know when it's working, when it's not, when it's up on top. Here we are. Okay, no, that's not it. That's just for my logging, for resizing. I had some problems with the hockey puck in a sandwich bag. So that's... Okay, here we are. Okay, Project Asset Manager. I will be pulling a correctly oriented Project Asset Manager when I start programming on that, but you do need a Project Asset Manager to at least get to working with SceneApplication. Why was that? Because you need it for your request. Right there. Bam. Now, you don't need a node, but I went on ahead and added a node just so I could, attach a box in there. All that good stuff. So, okay. Add scene listener. So here's where I register. SceneApplication fires up from the beginning. And it's really cool that you can just, hey, SceneApplication, you're an application that's fired up, so when you need to add to controls, add your camera controls, all that good stuff, boom. SceneApplication.getApplication, that will help out a lot because there's a lot of handy functions under that to work with. So what I did is I just made it up there, and this registered the listener. Okay, and here we go. I went on ahead and created my request here, and now that's for when it's opened for the first time. So the process goes. Go on, come on. I shouldn't have closed it. I should not close it until I'm done explaining what each of these parts do. Yeesh. Alright, there we go. Yeah. Now, the reason it doesn't fire up right away is because it's open on that screen, and the timing is actually off for the first time. Of course, switching away and then switching back fixes it, but I'll have to figure out how to delay this code right here a little bit, at least until I can get that, but that'll be later. All right, so when opening a project for the first time, that would be like, all right, here's my object that I'm working with, and when I open it up, it's open for the first time, and I've got some listeners in there, so I'll show you this. right here. So when I flip over to the tab, I've got my loggers to say, okay, here's the initialization section, here's the open section, showing section, got the resize request, and then I sent off my request, and then SceneApplication called back, hey, I received a request. All right, here you go. Is this you? So let's start with this initialization. That's just where I, added the scene listener. Then I got the component showing. Okay, and components closed is when you actually, close it. But component showing. So like when you switch it to another tab, it's hidden, and so I say, okay, close, and then it's showing again. So that's how that works. So component showing and hidden. There we go. And here we are. Here's where I have my okay, where are you? It's just a component, and it's called OGL Canvas. That's just, I saw it called that in one of the things in there, so I was like, I'll go with that naming convention. So that's my OpenGL Canvas, even though it's just a component. And here we are. Okay, so and then I just say, hey, SceneApplication, I want to get that main panel. Okay, and so I set it to that. And now this set focusable false, it just means I'm removing it from, where you can tab amongst objects and windows. Yeah, I don't want it to be that you can tab to it, because it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to be controlled by anything. So I don't really want it to be focusable. All right, and then I add it to my JPanel right here. So that add, there we are. So I add it to my JPanel. So there's my container, there's my component, we're set. Let's get it going. There's a couple of catches here just in case something goes wrong. And then I say, okay, my component's showing. Whenever you're ready, just let me know. So I send off the request, which has my absolute node and all my scene attached to it, and then the project asset manager, which is not attached to anything right now. And of course, when I hide the component, I go ahead and remove it, and I close the scene or get the request. Now, these close scene and open scene, when you send that off, SceneApplication will check, and if it'll call back here and say, hey, yo, scene opened. And then of course you get that scene request back, and here's where I check and make sure it's me, and it is. Then I had some stuff here, but that's working with ToneGod's UI, and there's an issue with that. But I'll be going on that later. But that's the big thing. When you implement Scene Listener, these are the two functions that you will be overriding. And the only other thing to note is read the code, because you'll notice that if you're doing some, I guess, OpenGL stuff, it's good to use SceneApplication's on queue. Well, I clicky. Yes, here we are. It's good to use SceneApplications on queue. Come on, where are you? Open scene, close scene, check save, reset cam. Yes, make sure to head over to GitHub and read a lot of this stuff. But derp on queue. Where is on queue? It's not in there, but I know that it exists, and it's good to make a callable and just going ahead and on queue it for running later, so that hey, you just fire off the event. Scene application will on queue it for your uh, just-in-time processing, I guess, and do it at a later time. But in other words, it won't freeze your app. You throw it out there with the on queue, and then it'll work in the background while you're working on other stuff. Although it does happen pretty fast. So anyway, I'm probably got some stuff wrong, but this is the big thing to remember, to take away from this rambling, is scene application is the preferred uh, I want to say class. Okay, yeah, class to just easily open up a JME uh, canvas inside of NetBeans, because it runs with the SDK. It's right here. This is it. This is Scene application getting started. And you can start up your own application, but you'd start up another thread, slows everything down, and so it's just more efficient to use Scene application and Scene request, and make sure that you implement Scene listener somewhere. So that's the big tip for today, and I will catch you guys on the flip side, and enjoy that JME surface. Oh, and one other thing, Filter Explorer and Scene Explorer are also part of, I guess, Scene application. So, of course, when I attach my absolute node, hey, and I attach my blue box, hey, there it is. And it's got some code in there. Although I'll be working with the navigator for my particular project, at least it's nice to know that, hey, it also keeps track of what's what while in the SDK. All right, catch y'all later. Bye.